Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We're excited to have Joseph Werner with us today and hope you, your family, your friends, your company, everyone had a very Merry Christmas. So, Joseph, thank you. How was it?
Oh, it was a terrific Christmas. I got a chance to run along the beach here in beautiful Melbourne, Florida, and that's always a great way to start a holiday. Sun coming
Perfect.
up, and yeah.
Well, nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about your company and what you do.
So, Child and Family Consultants is a pediatric rehabilitative facility, and we're located in East Central Florida, Melbourne, Florida, to be exact. And we work with children and families with all kinds of concerns or issues from birth all the way through young adulthood. A lot of our kids, for example, have issues related to autism or learning disabilities, but we also treat children with mental health issues, anxiety, depression, behavioral issues. So we really are able to help a wide variety of families living in around Brevard County and the East Central Florida area.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for having us and being here with
Welcome.
us. And who's the special guest off camera?
All right. So this is Miss Jamie Sullivan. She's one of our certified OT assistants, and I wanted to
Oop,
introduce her to our audience today.
I just lost your audio. Got a
Oh,
little low. Can you,
okay.
did you move away
So
from the computer?
perhaps.
Okay,
So
there you go.
there you go. I wanted to introduce Jamie Sullivan. She's one of our occupational therapy assistants, and I thought Jamie would be an interesting person to for our audience to meet. And then Jamie can help me, and we can talk about how we address some of the behavioral difficulties that children have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So please say hello. Tell us a little
Hello.
bit about your job there and would love to learn more about the children and you're helping.
Well, I have been in the medical field since 2005. I started as a medical assistant and I just I can't get the growth that I really want. I can't get the hands-on that I really
Yeah,
want because I wanted to be a part of the treatment plan for, a person, not necessarily children. At first, I was really hesitant against children because I hated pediatrics and in the medical field, but it's different now because here I get to play. I get to
hmm
have fun and I get to play and I get to teach the children who have the deficits and the hard time playing, to play. And so yeah, so once I actually kind of got into the OT field, because I was like I wanted more of that hands-on and being part of the treatment plan, not just implementing it. Yeah, and then I found Dr. Joe after, and I've been here since. But 4 years,
Yes.
4 years, yeah,
So originally, what did you go to school for? You said you were a medical assistant?
yeah. And then the plan was medical assistant and eventually nursing. But then I was talking to a lot of my other nursing friends, and it's a lot of paper pushing, and I didn't want to do paper pushing. So I wanted to be more hands-on, and I asked the counselor there, and we kind of hashed out some of my wants and needs and found OT. So,
So
and then
occupational therapy, like give me some examples of the work you're doing with children and what ages?
so I see mainly preschool ages, but I do see all the way up until I do have a couple of young adults on my caseload, and with the preschoolers, again, we're just trying to teach them how to play. And including like motor coordination, if they have any sensory issues, maybe they have some feeding issues. And we're just gonna incorporate play to get them to those performance skills that they need to kind of pick up on. And but for the older kids, it could be the same, but for more vocational, like teaching them like how to file papers or how to stock a grocery basket, or maybe interacting, simply talking to that that person on the other side of the register.
Mhm.
Everyday life skills, and that's for pediatrics or for adults, and that's what OT is whatever your everyday life skills are. I'm going to help you with whatever deficit that you have get to where you want to be and to be independent in that.
Mhm. Oh. And so now that you've been doing this, what are your hours? What's your schedule like? And what's the best part about teaching a child how to play in a sense, right? I mean, it's got to be fun. It brings joy to
Oh,
you.
oh yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think I have the most fun when it's messy. When it's messy playing, because you have a kid who is sensory sensitive and defensive, and to be able to see them make a mud pie and or hear that they actually put their feet in the sand or they touch is just, it may seem like a big step to, or a small step to others, but that family and the therapist, that's a big deal. Because,
Hmm.
that sensory system is saying, I really don't want to touch this. This is going to hurt me. But, with working with them, with doing everything with them and playing with them and, building that confidence up with them, it's nice to see that, it's finally clicks. And it's like
Hmm.
they're enjoying themselves and they're not held back by um these deficits that they can interact with their environment.
Beautiful. Wow. And what would you say about, the people you work with, about Joseph? Not to put you on the spot, 'cause I think he's still right there. But I
Oh,
feel like from meeting you all and talking to you, it feels like a real great community. It doesn't feel like
it
work. I feel
is.
like you come to work, you
No,
come to see
no,
friends, and you guys
no.
all seem so joyful and get along. Is this true?
Yeah, it's just, no, it is very, for it, take it by face value because that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
I think he's an amazing boss. I love the fact that, he gives me the autonomy to make my own decisions. Um, I can be my own therapist, but I also have that sense of security of, well, if I don't do this right,
Yeah.
that, he's okay. He's there to kind of, well, you did a good job, but let's try it this way.
Hmm.
Um, but I think he knows this, and we tell him all the time. He works entirely way too long, way too hard. But it's from a therapist standpoint, it's hard to shut it off. It
Yeah.
really is because you're working with people, you're working with their deficits, and you just want to help. You just want to make sure that they can independently live in their own environment safely.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that.
Yeah,
And what
absolutely.
else did you want to cover for today about you and about the work you're doing? Not to put you on the spot, but did you have something
Oh,
else in mind to share?
um, I think that he tends to give me a lot of the behavioral kids
Okay.
because I have twins who are also on the spectrum. So I
Well,
think
well, you didn't tell me this. How old are your kids? You look too
three.
young to have kids. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
thank you.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Mine are
Oh, thank
6
you.
and
I
8.
appreciate it.
Oh my goodness.
I
Wait,
have
boys, girls, tell me.
I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I have 3-year-old twins. All
Amazing.
girls.
Oh my
All
goodness.
girls. So my path has definitely been OT for a reason because this job has definitely helped me learn patience
Mm-hmm.
and to regulate myself so that I can help them.
Beautiful. Yeah. That patience is a big one. I know. It's hard. And now
It
you've
is
got
hard.
three. Do your children actually use the facilities where you work, or do
Yeah,
you they
yeah,
do, so they come in too?
yeah,
Now,
they
do
come
you
in
do
too.
you work with them or someone else does, because it's hard to work with mom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, and it'd be a conflict of interest because, right, I
Yeah.
am mom, but yeah.
You'll be
But
so
yeah,
quick to
they
run.
come
Don't
in.
do that. And they'd be like,
Yeah.
wait, what did I say? I'm not supposed to talk to the kids like that. But as parents, we talk to our own like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And more
Oh
so,
yeah.
yes. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, they come
So
here and they love it. just like with all of our other kids, it's sometimes it's, I don't want to go, I don't want to be there. And then, it's a fight to get them out.
Isn't that
It
amazing? That is
is.
so beautiful. That is
It
so
is.
wonderful. Wow.
It is very beautiful.
Beautiful. And what would you say to other families out there listening today who, may have children needing this occupational type therapy with, behavioral disorders? Or I know autism is big. I know he works with so many in the autism community on the spectrum with that. What would you say to them why they should come to your facility?
Well, um, I would say we take on more of a family atmosphere. Um, and coming from seeing the medical fields in that aspect, and here I just feel there's more of a connection. There's more of a whole body experience. And the doctor's offices, they're there to take your vitals, make sure you're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, but we only see them for what, if we're lucky, once a year. Um, Here we get more of a
Yeah.
connection.
Oh,
I like that.
beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Remind us of how we can reach out to you all. Could you share the website, phone number?
Yeah, sure.
So uh, we'd love to hear from you, and you can give us a call at area code 321-768-6800. And if you'd like to contact us via email, you can go to childandfamily@cfl.rr.com. That's all spelled out, CHILDANDFAMILY at cfl.rr.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, Joseph, what else do you want to know to let our listeners know about you and what's happening? Here's the end of the month. We got the new year coming up. Any new changes, any expectations, anything new with insurances? It is the new year. So what changes for you and the staff? Anything in particular?
Well, for the most part, we don't have a lot of changes. The insurance companies will change their policies. A lot of people, for example, will have to deal with deductibles or increases in copays as the new year starts and their insurance rolls around a little bit. But we're able to work with all of the families to make that as painless as possible for them, so we can have the continuity of therapy for their kids and their families. And one of the things that we help kids and families with too is thinking about setting goals, and
Yeah.
because setting goals are really important. They kind of help keep you on track, as well as help you then develop a plan for how you're going to achieve that goal. And sometimes the goal for families is how do I get to understand my child's behavior better so that I can be an even better parent. Or sometimes the goal for the teenagers are how do I get myself better organized, or manage time better, or can communicate better with my teachers so I can be a more successful student. Or for some of our clients, how do I deal better with feelings of being anxious, or feelings of being so sensitive that it's hard for me to wear clothes that fit the weather, or to maybe expand my diet so it's just not eating two or three things and the same things every day, because that's all my sensory system seems to be able to tolerate. So we're very big on helping people understand that we can all set goals. We can all make these goals achievable. We can break the goals down into small chunks so that everybody feels like they're manageable, and we can be successful. And then, on the occasion when we slip up and we take a back step, that's okay, because with the support from the therapist here at Child and Family, and from the support we give the families, well, you have a slip up, well, you get back up and you return to your routine and get back to set your goals again. And most of the time, one of the things that we realize as therapists, but sometimes other folks don't realize quite as much, is that when you want to change a behavior, it takes time. Parents, for example, will have a certain parenting style, and sometimes they have to modify that style, depending upon their own child's sensory needs and temperament profiles. And it takes time for people to change the way they parent their child, especially if you've been successful with your first child, and now all of a sudden you have your second one, and those same techniques don't seem to be as effective. So that takes time. And then if you are, whether you are a school age child or a teenager or young adult, and you're trying to figure out, how do I do better and manage my body better, or use exercise to manage my body better, or learn to manage my emotions, that takes not only a desire and a motivation, but then someone to help coach you through that. But that takes time too. you know Behaviors never change in an instant, and especially if we're trying to create new positive behaviors, and healthy behaviors, that takes time, and it takes support.
And that's why you guys are here supporting so many. And by the way, just a little of your background for those that may not know how long you've been in business and the overall community and what you do for so many.
Well, Child and Family Consultants has been here over 30 years, since 1993. And we've been very fortunate that a lot of families have allowed us into their lives, so that we can provide some help and support and comfort. And we look forward to being here, hopefully at least another 30 years. And fortunately, our families have felt like they've gotten good service and good support, because we get lots of referrals from all the local pediatricians and family doctors, but we also get a lot of referrals from teachers, and we get referrals from families too. A family will come in and say, they have a neighbor, or they had a relative whose child came here, and that family had a successful experience, and then they have some needs with their child or their family, and they'd like to see if we can help. And so it's very rewarding sometimes to hear that we're getting these referrals from people that have had positive experiences and feel like it's worth their time and effort, because therapy is a commitment. People have to figure out how in their schedule they can bring their child to an office and bring them on a weekly basis. And they know, as part of the therapy process, we're going to be talking to them things about how they understand their child, how they can take home activities and exercises to do with their child, how they can adapt their approach to their child. So they know they're going to be involved in this too. So it's a commitment of time and energy, and sometimes money, and it's gratifying. In the season of gratitude, really, it's gratifying to know that families feel like they can trust us enough with the most precious thing that they have, which is their children.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. We still have some more time here. What other area of focus did you want to kind of dive into? And we've been doing these podcasts for quite a few months now, and I've learned so much about your field. And again, all that you serve, all the people, and I get to hear amazing testimonials all the time from your staff.
I can tell you, going through school, he was the head honcho to be in, and he still is in our area. So when I saw an opening for him, I put my resume in and I said, "Oh, please, it's right next to the house." And he is like the autism guy in Brevard County. So to be able to actually get here again was pretty cool. It was amazing. It's hard to wake up, but once I'm here, I like it, and it's a second family.
That's so important to what an amazing. I told Joseph, I said, yeah, if I lived down there, I think that would be my job. I would be like running the communications at the front desk or something like that, dealing with the people, not the patients, but hands on, because I don't have that type of skill. But you guys are just so warm and welcoming. Any new stories you want to share about anyone that has some triumphant news and who's really benefited from your services?
No, but I will tell you a funny story, though.
Good. We love that.
So this is a funny story, where a little fellow, he's about 6 years of age, and in our treatment rooms, we have a swing. So he's swinging back and forth on the swing, and his mom is there, and his mom is telling me, he's been making some progress and how he's doing. And and his mom said to me that, in particular, that he's made a friend with this girl that's in his class.
Mm-hmm.
And then making friends has been one of the things which is hard for this little fellow to do. And so right after his mom said that, he looked at me and he said, "Yeah, I've got this friend, and her name is Alice, and we're really good friends." And so his mom and I are smiling, and I'm pushing him on the swing, and then he looks at me and he says, "And I'm going to marry her someday." And then so her mom and I are kind of chuckling a little bit, but he's continuing to go on. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to marry her someday, but I have a problem." And I said, "Well, what's the problem?" And he said, "Well, she wants to marry her grandfather." And I said, and 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 before I could even say anything, he looks me straight in the eye and he says, "But I'm not worried too much because he's kind of old. I think he's going to die, so
Oh,
I'm going to be able to marry her."
oh my goodness. Precious. Oh, I love kids say the darndest things. What was that show that used to be on TV? Right?
That,
Ah,
yes,
it's so
that's right.
precious. Oh, beautiful.
So that's a great, and one of the nice things about this job too is we also do hear our share of sad stories, and we have to
Mm.
deal with those too. But it's those funny stories that help keep you going too. And as you said, kids will say the most surprising and honest things sometimes that and we could do, maybe we'll do a podcast someday on just the funny stories. But
Yeah.
it's wonderful to have a chance to work with kids and teenagers, and have a chance to be part of their lives, and to see them make progress, and to hear their stories.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. And so New Year's upon us. What do we, anything new though happening at the office that we should be aware of? Anything for parents and families out there that maybe need the services? Do you want to share any special messages today?
Well, I think we would just like to share the message that in the start of the new year, you know, every year there's lots of strife and stresses, but with the start of the new year, we'd like everybody to remember how much kindness and hope there are out there, even though you may not see it on your television screens or in the news. There's a lot more kindness and support out there than we might realize. And we here at Child and Family Consultants want to wish everybody a year of happiness and health, and hopefully you'll all have a lot of adventures too in the course of the new year, as we all travel around the sun together, and come back a year from now, and hopefully we'll be able to celebrate a nice holiday season with each other. But we're all in this together, and we're all traveling around the sun together. So let's be kind to each other.
It takes a village. I am very much a believer of it takes a village.
Ah,
It really does.
it is so
And
true. Go
it
go
is.
ahead.
It is because there's been plenty of times where I'm not really the artsy one in the office, and I'll go to my one of my coworkers and I'm like, how do I do this? And but I wouldn't have been able to know how to do that unless I asked for for help. So and that's just another thing that we also have to remind the kids too, is like it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I don't know how to do this.
And sometimes we have to remind people that you have to be brave to ask for help too.
Yeah.
But being brave and asking for help when you need it, there are people out there who are available and are willing, and can help make your life better.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here, for joining us. And to wrap up for today, how can we reach out to you?
And so if you'd like to contact us, please call us at our phone number, which is area code 321-768-6800, or contact us via email at childandfamily@cfl.rr.com, and we will be here.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Pleasure meeting you.
Welcome.
Pleasure speaking with you all. And
Thank you.
see you next year.
We'll see you
Let me
next
see.
year. Yes.
All right, we'll
All right.
talk then. I
All right.
used the quoting
Bye,
line this
Joe.
week. Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.